It took more than a year of crisis and loss for the world to finally develop vaccines for the fatal COVID-19 virus. After trials and testing year-round, several vaccines have been approved with up to 97% efficacy. Now, amid worries back home, the government is gearing up to procure several vaccines, and the Health Ministry has gone on to claim that the life-saving drug will arrive in the country soon. We can only hope the government keeps its end of the promise. Good morning, I am Bipashna Tamang and these are the headlines of the hour. The Dahal Nepal faction of the ruling Nepal Communist Party urges the Election Commission to refrain from any election activities. The Commission claims otherwise. Nepal prepares for a third phase trial of COVID-19 vaccines. The government prepares to procure Chinese and Australian vaccines. Democrats introduce an article of impeachment against US President Donald Trump for his role in last week's deadly invasion of the Capitol building. And the English Premier League club West Ham advances to the fourth round of the FA Cup, defeating Stockport County by a solitary goal. The Constitutional Bench of the Supreme Court is still considering the writs filed against the resolution of the House of Representatives. Meanwhile, as the government has announced of midterm elections, the Election Commission has begun necessary preparations. The Pushpakamal Dahal Madhav Kumar Nepal faction of the ruling Nepal Communist Party has expressed reservations against the Commission's move, citing any election activities can influence the apex court's verdict. We have more in this report.
The disgruntled faction of the ruling Nepal Communist Party, led by Pushpakamal Dahal and Madhav Kumar Nepal, has submitted a grievance letter at the Election Commission, citing the Commission had rushed for election preparations, while the Supreme Court had yet to announce a verdict on the dissolution of the House of Representatives. The faction has also urged the Election Commission to hold all works, saying preparations for the elections could influence the case under consideration.
सर्वोच्च अदालतमा मुद्दा विचाराधीन छ। मुद्दा विचाराधीन भएको स्थितिमा निर्वाचन आयोगले निर्वाचन कार्यक्रमहरू सार्वजनिक गरेको स्थितिमा यसले त्यो मुद्दामा प्रभावित पार्ने भएको कारणले निर्वाचन कार्यालयले निर्वाचन कार्यक्रमहरू स्थगित गर्नुपर्दछ भन्ने मुख्य प्रयोजन हामीले निर्वाचन आयोगसँग छलफल गर्ने गरिकन आएका थियौं।
The Election Commission on Monday provided a training on voters list, voting station and voting center to district election officers. The Commission claims that the training program was a part of the regular task, while the Dahal faction claims that the training was a preparation for the elections. The Election Commission has agreed to proceed after necessary discussions.
निर्वाचन आयोगले अगाडि बढाइरहेका अहिलेको कार्यक्रमहरू स्थगित गरिपाउँ भन्ने विषयको छ र त्यो विषयमा चाहिँ अब हामीले यहाँ छलफल गर्दै छौं र आयोगबाट एउटा उपयुक्त खालको निर्णय हुन्छ। निर्वाचन आयोगले यसभन्दा अगाडि नै निर्णय गरेर दुवै अध्यक्षज्यूहरूलाई चाहिँ सम्बोधन गरेर जवाफ माग गरेको कुरा यहाँहरुलाई विदितै छ। त्यो जवाफ प्राप्त भइसकेपछि दलको विधान, राजनीतिक दल सम्बन्धी ऐन, राजनीतिक दल सम्बन्धी नियमावलीका आधारमा आयोगले उपयुक्त निर्णय गर्ने नि छ।
The Election Commission has found itself in a difficult position as the Constitutional Bench of the Supreme Court is still mulling over the writs filed against the dissolution of the House of Representatives, while the government has already declared of holding the elections.
Nepal is preparing to carry out the third phase trial of COVID-19 vaccines. The Nepal Health Research Council has already approved the Chinese vaccines for trial, while it is in the process to give a green signal for the Australian vaccines. We have more in this report.
The Nepal Health Research Council approved the third phase of vaccines developed by Chinese company Clever Biopharmaceuticals. The Health Ministry is preparing to submit the proposal of the third phase trial of the vaccines at the Cabinet for approval. Tribhuvan University Teaching Hospital and Dhulikhel Hospital started their preparations in this regard with the technical assistance from South Korean International Vaccine Institute. Likewise, Australian-based vaccine company has also sought approval for medical testing for the vaccines produced by the company. The Nepal Health Research Council's ethical body has moved ahead with the approval process. The vaccines developed by several companies, including Pfizer, have been in use for more than a month, and some vaccines are at their final stage of testing. Indian company Biotech has already received approval from the government for emergency use of Covaxin in India. The company had informed that preparation is underway for medical trial in Nepal as well. However, the company has not filed an application at the Nepal Health Research Council for approval. According to experts, vaccines that have received approval and are in the process of trial are not unsafe as they are at the third stage of trial. However, the government is yet to decide on the procurement of the vaccines.
Meanwhile, Minister for Health and Population Hridayesh Tripathi has claimed Nepal will receive COVID-19 vaccines along with other South Asian nations. Speaking at a press conference held yesterday, Minister Tripathi said that the government was in correspondence with Russia, India and UAE for the procurement. However, the minister did not clarify the names of the vaccines and the procurement process. Minister Tripathi said the Nepal government has prioritized G2G or government-to-government transaction to procure the vaccines, saying developed nations had hoarded on their life-saving drugs, resulting lengthier process. Likewise, the minister informed of the possibility that the government will contract a private company for vaccine procurement. Minister Tripathi also said the vaccine procurement had turned into a political affair rather than commercial. The Health Ministry has said 16,500 health officials and 52,000 female health volunteers will be deployed across the country for storage, supply and nationwide inoculation program. Likewise, Minister Tripathi said the government will procure vaccines for their countrymen ahead of the vaccines provided under the COVAX facility. Minister Tripathi also claimed the procurement process will be transparent and that the Finance Ministry has locked the source and ensured no legal hassles will emerge in the procurement. And we'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up. Welcome back. The share market index NEPSE went up by 3.7 points yesterday, while the day's transaction reached 5 billion rupees. During the first hour of share market opening yesterday, the NEPSE index rose to 2,266. However, the trading day ended at 2,239 points. The life insurance and non-life insurance group witnessed the highest growth, with the former seeing an increase of 161 points and the latter by 177 points. Development banks recorded a growth of 28.6 points, Hydropower Group 3.4 points and Commercial Banks Group 2.9 points. Microfinance Hotel Industries were among the groups that witnessed a slump. Over 13.5 million shares were sold, with the transactions exceeding 5.52 billion rupees yesterday. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the locals in Gorkha district how do they remember the contributions made by Prithvi Narayan Shah, the first monarch of the Kingdom of Nepal. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
टुक्रिएको राज्यहरूलाई एउटै बनाएर हामीलाई नेपाली र गोर्खाली भनेर इतिहासमा दुनिया संसारमा चिनाउनु त्यो योगदानलाई नै इम्पोर्टेन्ट मान्छु म।
नेपालमा एकीकरण गर्दाखेरि पनि मुस्लिमहरूलाई धेरै साथ लिएको र मुस्लिमहरूलाई व्यापार र हात हतियार बनाउनको लागि यहाँ नेपालमा लिएर आएर यहाँका मुस्लिमहरूलाई धर्ममा समेत सम्मान व्यवहार गरेर राखेको छ।
यदि पृथ्वी शाह हुन्थेन भनेदेखि नेपाल हाम्रो विदेशी हुन्थ्यो, हामी विदेशीको दासी बन्न सक्थ्यौँ।
जो 22 र 24 राज्यलाई आज एकीकरण गरेर नेपाल भन्ने जुन विश्वमा चाहिँ चिनाए र आज हामी नेपाली भन्ने नाम उहाँले राखेर जानुभयो।
Time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's the question: what should be done to make the health insurance program effective? Your options: option A, raise awareness; option B, improve health sector; and option C, expand criteria. The voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And that's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.